Martyr Mahadevappa Mailar, freedom fighter and ardent follower of Mahatma Gandhi. I am Dr. Baswara Janaki, Professor of History, Government Professional College, Dandeli, Uttarakhand District, Karnataka State. So, in this presentation, I would like to discuss about Mailar Mahadevappa, freedom fighter of Bombay, Karnataka region. Mailar Mahadevappa was born on 8 June 1911 at Motebanur in Badgi Taluk of Haveri district in Karnataka. His father Martandappa and mother Basamma were devout couple. Mahadevappa was deeply influenced by the pious values of his parents in his childhood. At the very young age, he was imbued with spirit of patriotism. He started his primary education in his village, Motebenur, and then in Houseboy of Haveri district. The teachers in his school days inspired the students by teaching lessons of freedom struggle, Gandhiji, and the life of martyrs, inculcated in them high sense of values. Mahadevappa's heart filled with love and sacrifice after studying about martyrs. He always discussed about the freedom movement and service to the country with his friends. Observing these developments, his teacher, Sri Teli, often said, in future, definitely Mahadevappa would become a great yogi or a martyr. Freedom fighters of the district like Sri Guddappa Hallikeri, Sri K. Patil, Sri T.R. Neshwi, and Sri Murugappa Eli had guided him in his journey of freedom struggle. Let us see his turning point. Inspired by the encouraging talks of his teachers, Mahadevappa regularly read Young India of Gandhiji along with his studies. He learned a lot about the freedom struggle. One day, he took permission from his teachers and left the school to join the freedom struggle. Once listening to the inspiring speech of great freedom fighter and leader Hardikar Manjappa, he removed his foreign cap and burned it. From then onwards, he stopped using foreign clothes and started to wear only indigenous Khadi clothes and even went to Kaladki, the famous Khadi center of Bijapur district, and learned the process of making Khadi cloth. Meanwhile, Gandhiji sent a message to the Indian Youth Organization to send one or two representatives to take part in the Salt Satyagraha from Karnataka. The members of the Youth Association selected young Mahadeva to participate in the program. At the first sight, Mahadevappa won the heart of Gandhiji. After several tests, Mahadevappa was allowed to stay in his ashram. This was a turning point in his life. There he met Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who narrated his experiences of freedom struggle and no tax campaign of 1928 at Bareilly, an important peasant movement led by Patel against the colonial rule. Mahadevappa married Siddhamma and asked her to take part in the freedom struggle. Accordingly, she took part in civil disobedience movement along with Kasturba. So this is the Gandhi Ashram at Sabarmati, Ahmedabad. This is the house where Mahatma Gandhiji lived for a long time. This was one of the scene of a prayer at Sabarmati Ashram on 30th January 2019. So this is Vinoba Kutir. There are two single rooms uh, which were usually used for the guests. So this was the front view of the Magan Niwas. So there is a small inscription, Magan Niwas. This used to be the home of Maganlal Gandhi, who was the soul of the Satyagraha Ashrama. So this is how the inscription is formed. Let us see about the Sard Satyagraha or Dandi March of 1930. The main values reflected in the Satyagraha are justice, non-violence, patriotism, purity, self-control, conviction, boldness, humbleness, unity, physical work, equality, peace and sacrifice. Gandhiji saw all these values in Mahadevappa and was highly impressed by his attitude. He asked him to take part in the noted Dandi March. On 12th March 1930, Mahatma Gandhiji, along with his 78 followers, began his march from Sabarmati to Dandi to break the salt law imposed by the British. Mahadevappa was the only representative from Karnataka in that historic moment. His presence was like a glowing star in the night. Thousands of people all over the country took part in the rally. Along with Gandhiji, Mahadevappa was also arrested and jailed. There he got an opportunity to know Gandhiji closely. Meanwhile, his parents worried about his imprisonment. Mahadevappa wrote a letter to parents asking them not to worry. He wrote, I am fortunate to serve my motherland and fight for the freedom. You please don't worry. I shall return once the jail term is over. Later, Gandhiji and Mahadevappa were released. Mahadevappa left to his native. So this is one of the important photograph taken at the time of Salt Satyagraha. Gandhiji along with his followers marching towards Dandi. Siddhama was very happy to see her husband. Every day Mahadevappa narrated all his experiences. He told her about the greatness and the necessity of freedom struggle. They had long discussion on various aspects of the movement. When Mahadevappa prepared to return to ashram, Siddhama told that she wants to join him. Thus, she went to Sabarmati to understand the ideals and philosophy of Gandhiji. There, she met Kasturba, who stood shoulder to shoulder to her husband Gandhiji in the struggle for freedom. She learned the rules and regulations of the ashram under her guidance. In Sabarmati, civil disobedience movement started under the leadership of Gandhiji. Siddhama took part in it, and she was, along with Kasturba, was arrested and sentenced to jail for 6 months in Ahmedabad. Siddhama was the only woman to take part in the civil obedience movement from Karnataka. Later, they left Gujarat and returned to Karnataka. They received grand reception from the people of Dharwad, Hamiri, and Mutebannur. People thronged to see them and wish them. They felt they were not only the children of their family, but for the whole state. They were overwhelmed by the love and affection people poured on them. They resolved to fight for the country toward the life. Madhava organized a band of 12 brave women of Haligi village who to take part in the civil disobedience movement. They were Ambava Shankargoda Kakade, Puttava Totappa Hangdi, Bhagava Pirappa Disle, Ambava Anmantappa Halligudi, Burmava Sangappa Hadpad, Pirma Kalesab Nadaf, Gangava Yamnappa Madewala, and Subama. Subama was wife of the chief of the village who offered a free house for the stay of Mahadevappa and his teammates. In this way, Mahadevappa was a great organizer in his area of Ameri. That house was known as the Congress House. All these were of around 20 years of age. They took part in attacking government offices and disturbed the functioning of the departments. They were arrested and sentenced for 2 months by the government. Mahadevappa and Siddhama took the blessings of Gandhiji and Kasturba and returned to Karnataka to continue the activities in their native place. In Kordur, a small village on the bank of river Varta in Amir district, where they set up ashram called Village Sevasram. Kordur Village Sevasram. They became the coordinators of the association and included people from all castes, creed, religion. Hindus and Muslims, Christians, and people from different castes joined them and served in the ashram. To run the ashram, Mahadevappa and Siddhama tilled the land and grew crops, while all the men of the ashram involved in an agricultural works, women involved in weaving cloth in charaka, and prepared food for the inmates of the ashram. Nature cure, yoga practice, learning to read and write, spinning charaka, and other activities were done in the ashram. Along with these activities, they spread the message of freedom struggle among the people. Mahadevappa became model by using khadi cloths made at the ashram. This ashram attracted people from every nook and corner of the state. The volunteers sold the khadi produced at Kordur ashram. It came to be known as Mahadevappa's khadi. The object of the Sevasram was to eradicate poverty and ignorance. It had the following objectives: to start village cottage industry, to create employment, to join hands with the villagers and strive for the economic, political, and social uplift of the villages, to develop physical fitness, to spread the message of All India Congress Committee, to formulate creative programs to develop villages, to inspire the people to know about the goals of the freedom struggle, to eradicate untouchability, to conduct programs to uplift the downtrodden people of the society, to ban alcohol, to spread the concept of the sacred ideals of self-reliance and village employment, which are the pillars of the progress and prosperity of the society. We can notice here that on the lines of the ideals and the activities of the Sabarmati Ashram, the village Seva Ashram was developed at Kordur. In 1941, Siddhama gave birth to a girl baby, whom they fondly named as Kastur Devi. The entire family was very happy with the birth of a girl child. Wait in a moment. It was during the Second World War Gandhiji decided to launch nationwide satyagraha in 1942. It is the Quit India movement. It was inaugurated on 8th August 1942 from Gauli Maidan, Bombay. Gandhiji raised the slogan of Quit India and called upon the people that it is time to do or die. He called it a mass movement and asked every volunteer to lead the movement in different parts of the country. Thousands of people and youths throughout the country jumped into the movement. The British tried to disrupt the movement. In order to nip it in the bud, Gandhiji and other top leaders were arrested on 9th August 1942 in Bombay. Other leaders who led the movement at regional levels were also arrested, but volunteers started their activities across the country. So this was a famous photograph of Mahadevappa, who along with his 18 members team of Kogunur village. Kogunur is a small village in Sirati Taluk of Gadag district. So all these 18 boys were from that village called Kogunur. Mahadevappa in Hamiri. Even in Karnataka, there were efforts to foil the conspiracy of the British to break the movement. Mahadevappa led the movement of South Division of Dharwad. He wanted to break the law of government. He intended to burn the railway stations, post offices, to loot the post bags and government cash boxes from the buses and trains, government offices, and they burned files in the offices. Inspired by the struggle of quitting a movement, the villagers of the Vannatti village of Ranebanur Taluk refused to pay taxes to the government, but few peasants paid taxes out of fear. The lands of those peasants who did not pay taxes were confiscated. Meanwhile, some peasants joined hands with the British and purchased those confiscated lands. Mahadevappa remembered the struggles conducted by Vallabhbhai Patel. Mahadevappa and his companions did fasting protest in front of the houses of the Jamindars. He was able to convince the Jamindars to give back the lands purchased by them. This success inspired the peasants and they were very happy. Later, as a mark of protest, all the peasants decided to stop paying the taxes. British government completely failed to collect taxes. The Karnataka police were unable to arrest Mahadevappa, who was the leader of the movement. The police from Maharashtra were called for his arrest and it was entrusted to Inspector Pai. A reward was announced to those who get hold of Mahadevappa. Final battle of Mahadevappa. Mahadevappa formed an organization of youths and started guerrilla warfare. It was aimed at foiling all the conspiracy of the British. British government had forcefully collected land tax from peasants of Vasirthi and surrounding villages, and it was kept in a Veerbhadra Swami temple of Vasirthi village. On April 1st, 1943, Mahadevappa and his associates planned to reach the temple and to snatch the money. They also planned to attack a revenue office and take the money kept in the locker. On the fixed day, they arrived at the temple early in the morning. Mahadevappa entered the temple and caught hold of four policemen. Then he started to remove the locker. Unfortunately, he could not succeed. Maharashtra police, who were hiding inside the temple, came out and shot him at his neck. Mahadevappa fell down and blood started oozing out of his body. He faced the British boldly and shouted, "Long live India! Long live Gandhiji!" Meanwhile, Tirkappa Madivalar and Viraya Hirimath from Kugnuru, his close associates, came to save him. Mahadevappa wanted non-violent struggle and he never wanted any bloodshed. Before they attacked the British, he said to his friends, "Don't shoot at the police, don't turn violent." But they were also shot by the police. 30 years old young Mahadevappa breathed his last at the entrance of the temple at Vasritti. Non-violent attitude. In my opinion, there is no freedom fighter of his stature who, despite being shot at, requesting his companions not to turn violent and shoot back. His principle was not to harm those who have harmed us, not to take violent path. The news of his death spread like wildfire. Entire village mourned his death. The dead bodies of the martyrs Mahadevappa, Tirukappa, Madivalar, and Hira Hiremath were brought to Haveri. To escape from the wrath of the public, the police buried all the three martyrs in the same cemetery. Later, the villagers assembled in a meeting and paid homage to the martyrs. At that time, Gandhiji was imprisoned in Aga Khan Palace, Pune. After listening the news of Mahadevappa's demise, Gandhiji mourned for a minute and said, "Mahadeva was a student and a valiant satyagrahi. His struggle remains always an inspiration to all of us." Thus, Karnataka lost a great hero of freedom struggle on 1st April 1943. So these are the burials of Mahadevappa and Siddhamma at Haveri. Near to this burials, National Memorial Trust of Mahadevappa is set up remembrance of his sacrifice. After independence, a memorial building was constructed in 2010 by the government of Karnataka known as Mailara Mahadevappa National Memorial Trust. The District Commission of Haveri as its head. Now in 2020, the railway station of Haveri is named after him as Mailar Mahadevappa railway station. So this is a photograph of that nameplate in Haveri railway station. So this was a stamp issued by the Indian Postal Department in 2018. So thanks for devoting your valuable time for me. Your suggestions are highly commendable. Thanks to all. Thank you.